Hey yo, what's the deal? You know who it is, and if you don't know, now you know. Shit, Teflon TV. Teflon TV. What up, my people? You know who it is. It's the Don. Tony Teflon, House Teflon. We pull the string. It's the Don. Tony Teflon, House Teflon. We pull the string. What up, my people? In this video right here, I'm getting into, obviously I usually do Game of Thrones stuff. This is a little bit off of the Game of Thrones topic, and I've wanted to do this for a little while. And this is the top movies of all time by category. So we have 8 categories I got comedy, romantic comedy, action, drama, horror, animated, sci-fi, musical, and I'll also say the most shocking ending. And I have not rehearsed anything because I really don't have to, because I know. Now, when I say this, that these are the greatest movies of all time, that is what they are. There's no better. Now, I think of great movies like I think of Beautiful Women. And like Marilyn Monroe, you can't tell me that there's someone better looking than Marilyn Monroe. Halle Berry, when she shot that movie Boomerang, if you see her in that movie, there's not a better looking woman who's ever existed on this planet than her at that time in her life. Pamela Anderson, you can't tell me there's no hotter chick than that. There's no hotter chick than these chicks. When you reach a certain level, you can be the same on that level, but you can't say someone is better. So when I tell you these are the greatest movies of all time, I'm saying that these movies I'm telling you are the greatest movie of all time. If you have something that is similar or fits the bill or is right there, it could be the same, but I'm telling you, there's no way you're going to tell me that anything is better than these movies. All right, so first I will say the greatest comedy of all time, according to me. Now, the greatest comedy of all time, one that makes me laugh anytime I see it, laugh out loud funny. You know, there's a lot of people that like a lot of things I don't find funny. I don't find a lot of things funny. I go to comedy shows that don't laugh. You really got to be funny to make me laugh, right? Without a doubt is, to me, Don't Be a Menace While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood by the Wayans brothers and multiple others. I cannot tell you how many times I have laughed. I could just think of it and start laughing about that movie. That is the funniest movie I've ever seen in my life. I don't think there is anything more funny. If you've never seen it, please watch it. But that is my pick for most favorite comedy of all time. 2, romantic comedy. I'm going to say that this movie, actually, romantic comedy, is probably one of the greatest movies ever made, regardless that it's a romantic comedy. And to me, I have to say that this movie is Roxanne with Steve Martin. If you've never seen it, it came out a long time ago. It is phenomenal movie. You should see it. It's a very good movie to see with a chick. It's very funny. It's Steve Martin, Steve Martin. And I think it's probably the greatest performance Steve Martin has ever given in any movie in his whole life. All right. So the next one I'm going to say is animate. Now I'm not gonna use like Marvel movies or little movie. It's got to be a movie. It got to be releasing film. I'm not gonna just straight to DVD joint. And I don't know nothing about Japanese anime, so I don't know anything about no Korra or Legend of this or Wind Waker or nothing like that. All right. So I'm just going by the movies that I've seen and everything else. All right. It's very hard for me to say this because there's so many great ones. But I'm gonna say if I had to pick one, and I do, for the greatest animated movie ever made, I'm going to go with The Lion King. I think The Lion King was phenomenal. The story it tells, everything about it. I just think from top to bottom, from beginning to end to middle, it all works. It never gets boring. The songs are great. Everything that an animated movie is supposed to have, it has. So The Lion King is my top animated movie of all time. All right. So I'm going to say we'll skip that. We'll just go to most shocking ending. The most shocking ending I ever seen in a movie. I will have to say the best ending, most shocking ending is The Sixth Sense. I don't know how you can't say The Sixth Sense. When that came out, M. Night Shyamalan, The Sixth Sense, the only movie he ever made that was ever good, ever. He never made a movie that's good. That's the only thing he ever made, period. And it was his success, and it was also his curse. Greatest movie ending of all time. I don't care what anyone says. That can never be reduplicated, and that is the bottom line with that. All right, so we've done comedy. We've done romantic comedy. All right, so we'll get into the big ones right now. I guess we'll go horror. Now, I'm not a big horror guy, so I don't like a lot of horror movies. So I really shouldn't be answering this question. I'm not an expert on horror. So I'm just going to give you my pick on this. Now, this one probably could be debatable. But the greatest horror movie, the greatest horror, I don't really like horror as a genre, me personally, but the greatest one I would have to say, if I have to pick, and I do because it's my show, is, I'm going to say, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. When I watched that as a child, I got nightmares from that movie. So I'm going to say that is the greatest horror movie. Look, I like the first Nightmare on Elm Street without a doubt. I like that movie a lot, and that could be there. But I'm saying, it never scared me. I'm saying for a horror movie that actually scared you, and that's what it's supposed to do, that you're supposed to be scared when you leave the theater or while watching it. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre scared the shit out of me as a child, as a very, very young baby when I see it. I didn't see it when it actually came out. I've seen it on VCR tape, but I was scared to death on that movie. All right, so we have that. So let's go to the big ones right now. One more before we get to the big two. Now, musical. I think this is a category overlooked and a lot of people don't say a lot about. But if you ask me, the greatest musical of all time, period, and I don't care what anyone says, is The Wizard of Oz. How can you not say that? That's one of the greatest movies of all time. How can that not be the greatest musical of all time? Now, The Wiz, a parody of The Wizard of Oz made by Diana Ross and Michael Jackson, I think has better music and it's better. I like that more because I enjoy the music more, and I'm a Michael Jackson fan, Diana Ross. But since The Wizard of Oz is the original, you have to say Wizard of Oz is the best of all time. And the reason, The Wizard of Oz, what people don't understand about it, it is your explanation to your whole life. And if you use that to guide your life can be very well. And if you look at it, that is what the movie is based around. When I watched it, that's what I got out of it. Here's a girl named Dorothy who doesn't want to leave home, but she's forced to leave her home. Like everybody in adulthood, you get forced to kicked out of your house. You don't want to go, but you have to go. She's got her dog with her, her one dog, Toto, and that's her dog, rolling with her. She runs into people, runs into a guy who doesn't think he's smart enough, another guy who doesn't think he has enough heart, another guy who doesn't think he has enough courage. All three things you need in life, and all three feelings that you get throughout your life. And it shows you that it takes a team. You can't make it by yourself. And though she has a dog and Toto's her dog, she still needed other people to help her get. Because if you need to be successful in life, no one can do it on their own. And then at the end, you see what happens when there's someone who wants something from you tries to get you to do something they don't want to do when they don't have the ability to do it themselves, and they are really not who they claim to be. Do not look at the guy behind the curtain, because that is the truth in life. That's the way it is. There's a lot of people who try to get you to do shit that they don't want to do themselves and don't have the power that they claim to have. And The Wizard of Oz, to me, the #1 musical of all time. All right, so now we get down to the big dogs. And the big dog, I would have to say the last two categories: drama, action. All right, and there is another one, and sci-fi. All right, so let's do sci-fi real quick. The greatest sci-fi movie ever made, ever, to the Teflon Don, is The Empire Strikes Back. It's the greatest Star Wars movie ever made, and there's no way not to put Star Wars as the greatest, one of Star Wars movie as the greatest sci-fi movie ever made. I don't see how you can. Don't bring me this goddamn Avatar shit. Don't try to bring that to me, because no, I'm not into Avatar. Listen, I'm not into any. Avatar is a movie that we have seen over and over again, just done over. The primitive people going up against the people with technology. Done with that shit. Empire Strikes Back. From the beginning, the good guys getting their ass kicked, to the dramatic scene at the end, I am your father. It's nothing better than that. There's nothing better than The Empire Strikes Back that ever came out and sci-fi. So That, to me, without a doubt, is the greatest sci-fi movie ever made. All right. Action movie. The greatest action movie ever made. And I think that this movie could be considered the greatest movie of all time due to the fact of sales, box office sales, and everything else. Anything you want to put, and Oscars and everything else that it won. And that is The Return of the King. I can't see how you can't say The Return of the King is the greatest action movie. How is that not? It has everything. It won all the awards. It broke all box office records for money. Anything you put up against it, it wins in those categories. So it could be considered the greatest movie of all time, without a doubt. And it's definitely the greatest action movie of all time. A movie that if it's on, no matter what I'm doing, if I start watching it, I'll watch it from wherever part it's at to the end. All right. Now, greatest drama of all time. It's very hard because there's a lot of dramas there. And as I said before, it's like a woman. You can't say one is better than the other. But to me, without a doubt, the greatest drama movie of all time is The Shawshank Redemption. I don't see how you can't say that is. Tell me what's better, a drama that's better than The Shawshank Redemption. You tell me. You find one, tell me. There's nothing better than that. There's nothing. The acting. They won the awards. The actors in it. Perfectly set. The guy goes to prison. I mean, I'm not even, you should know the movie. If you have not seen this movie, do yourself a favor and see it. Because you have missed out on something that everyone in the world deserves to see. Without a doubt. And the last category I will do, because I even got it written down, is gangster movie. There's so many gangster movies. There really is. It's the toughest. I know people are going to say Godfather and Scarface. I'm not going to say either Godfather. Not a Godfather or Scarface. If I have to pick, to me, the greatest gangster movie of all time that I had to pick, it's a tie. I have no way to break this tie because it's like I said, you can't say one is better than the other. But I'm going to say The Bronx Tale and Goodfellas are what's better than that? I mean, you can't tell me any gangster movies that's better than those two gangster movies. Period. None. Right there. So that is my list right there. So we'll go through it real quick at the end. Comedy, Don't Be a Menace. Romantic comedy, Roxanne. Action, Return of the King. Drama, The Shawshank Redemption. Horror, the original, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Animated, The Lion King. The most shocking ending of all time is, without a doubt, I'm drawing a blank. How is that possible? M. Night Shyamalan's The Sixth Sense. And I also want to say that Saw is up there too for that. It was a great ending on the movie Saw. Sci-fi, The Empire Strikes Back. Musical, without a doubt, Wizard of Oz, and gangster movie. We had just done it. I would say A Bronx Tale and see, I'm all crazy. Can't remember anything. Got other stuff in my mind I got to be doing right now. No, but that is it. All right. Oh my God, I can't believe I just drew blanks like that. But yo, if you like it, please thumbs up it, like it, subscribe, tell your friends about me. You know who I be. I'm the Don, Tony Teflon, and I'm out. Peace. Stay sexy. Tony Teflon, Tony Teflon, Tony Teflon, Tony Teflon, Teflon 316. Peace. And I'm out. Stay sexy.